Hey there everyone, trying something new again. I wanted to show you an early look at what I'm doing with the Goblin deck currently, because I'm pretty excited about it. It's just 3-axis again, but way better than it ever was before. So I'm really interested in seeing how this develops. I've got a lot of new theory and stuff to do with the deck. I guess everything's new because the deck is entirely new. And I just wanted to show it off before we get before I have all the time to get nitty gritty and test everything for the perfect ratios and all that for the deck profile proper. This it makes it a little bit more timely, and it also just helps me get out this excitement early on, and it also lets you and other people help perfect the deck before we even get the cards. So I would really like to see this kind of thing proliferate, and we can really expand our understanding of the deck. So for those who don't know, as part of the Diabell Star lore, we have gotten a whole bunch of Goblin cards. These Goblin cards not only are a bunch of very powerful cards in and of themselves, they also support Goblins as a whole, and they're also a 3-axis strategy. They all revolve around special summoning themselves by detaching material, which is all really cool. They have a way to also turn a 3-axis into a 6-axis deck, which is pretty neat. And we're going to run with that quite a bit as well. They have some powerful spells and one decent trap. And they work really well because they don't have a single lock in the entire deck with the p.u.n.k engine, which is also a 3-axis deck, although it's more tuned towards synchro summoning, so it's more of a, you're supposed to make a 6 and then make a 9. But it works with 3-axis as well, especially with the addition of emergency teleport, which is just a free special summon with no once per turn on it at all. We can use these powerful cards in order to search other cards from the deck, thinning out our deck, and also to get more 3s on board in order to make more rank 3s. Additionally, we can get Jam Extreme Session, which can get more cards in hand, and that will allow us to extend even further since all of the main deck Goblin cards are extenders. Also have Foxy Tune to additionally get more onto field. We're not really going to be summoning Foxy Tune, it's just here to special summon other cards. Now, we could theoretically play Tour Guide. Tour Guide can summon Goblin Rider Mianda, who is the best Goblin Rider in the deck, and it's really good. I play it by all means. I think that using the normal summon on a p.u.n.k is a little bit better than using the normal summon on Tour Guide. So I would rather be playing all of these p.u.n.k cards that can then cycle through each other rather than playing one Tour Guide. And there's been a lot of debate in the Unchained community as to whether Tour Guide is good or not. I think Tour Guide is good in Unchained personally. Even if it does get ashed, it still gets the ash out of hand, and then you can move on from there. In this deck, there's just so much I want to summon instead. I want to summon Sharakasai. I want to summon it off of Emergency Teleport, but you don't always draw Emergency Teleport. And we're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 p.u.n.k cards in here that are all normal, all good on a normal summon. And since the continuous spell card for the Goblin Riders gives you an additional normal summon of a Goblin, we really don't have to worry about normal summoning Goblins at all. These guys do it all on their own. They special summon themselves, they have an extra normal summon, it's fine. But these p.u.n.ks, they don't have as many easy ways to get on the field except for Emergency Teleport and, through the effects of other p.u.n.ks. And you really got to get that started somehow. So I really like having that normal summon option for them. Additionally, we have a lot of room for some non-engine, not the ideal of having 13, but we do have 7 slots, which is pretty decent. In the extra deck, we are running we're running some of the Goblin cards. We're running a decent amount of them. In fact, we have the Rising Carp, which will allow us to do some interesting plays. But my favorite part is, of course, the Ghost Trick package. We can do the 3-axis thing and make Ghost Trick Alucard, then make Angel of Mischief on top, use Mischief's effect to search Shot, and then use Ghost Trick Shot to summon back Alucard, and then make another Angel of Mischief on top of that, then go into Utopic Future, and then Utopic Draco Future, which is, of course, a negate every turn for 3 turns. But normally for this package, you have to run 2 Ghost Trick Shot, or some other Ghost Trick card to ensure that if you draw a Ghost Trick shot, you're not stuck. Because if you draw a Ghost Trick shot, you can't search, which means you can't detach the Alucard in order to special summon it from the graveyard. This deck, however, features an entire line of monsters designed to detach material from Ixie's monsters for free, and to get advantage, in fact. So we only have to run one Ghost Trick shot in order to get that special summon, and if you happen to draw it, you could just detach Alucard with a Goblin Rider effect. You're almost always going to be running into a Goblin Rider, so it really is no worry at all. I do run 2 Alucard because if they see you going for the Ghost Trick line, they might try to stop you at Alucard. You can make a second one and then keep going. We also have Levier because Levier can get back some of these Goblin cards and some of these Punk cards, which might get banished. And Jam Extreme Session has a banish effect for Punk cards in order to special summon one from hand. You can also use it to steal your opponent's cards in the banish zone, which is really funny. Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, which was banned in Master Duel briefly, is a very good card as well. This one allows us to change an opponent's effect into a draw 1 card, which is really good for us. We have a lot of powerful cards. And then it also can transfer its material to another monster, which gives you another material to detach. Very good, very good. Doesn't need to be supporting Rongo Nimiad, or Rongo Miniad, apologies, to be a good card. And then we have Evolsar Lars, because I like him. He's a level 6, or rank 6, I should say, which you can make the same way you make Goblin's Crazy Beast by using the Grand Meat and Goblin Riders. You only get 1 negate because you have to detach both materials in order to use its effect if there's not reptiles or dinos, and none of our cards are. But still, it's a slot that was open, and I think he's a pretty decent card. So let's see what the deck can do in some test hands. Okay, this is a stupendously bad hand. I have not seen a hand this bad, maybe in the entirety of my time playing around with this deck. This is the worst hand I have ever seen in my entire life. So this is a Rhoda, and it obviously can be ashed. We're just going to not ash it for now, and pretend that that works. But I don't really know what we get here, because you need 2 level 3s to do anything. All we need is 2, but well, no. We can't normal summon the Ash Blossom. There's no way, right? Yeah, because we would need to have a way to get it onto field. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to make this hand work. So that's a wash. Great. This happened to be the first hand is a complete wash. All right, so here's a pretty decent one. Let's E-Telly. We already have the Xeomin in hand, so let's go with Wagon, I think. We'll activate the Wagon effect. We're going to grab the field spell. We'll go ahead and activate that field spell. We will normal summon Xeomin, activate Xeomin, and then we are going to add Foxy Tune to hand. We need to have Foxy Tune here so we can special summon. Let's get a trigger effect here. Infinite Impermanence. Not bad. We'll take it. Alright, so let's do the special summon. We will pitch Mianda, and then we'll put Shirakusai on the field, activate him. In order to fusion summon Rising Carp, we'll use him, and doesn't really matter, Wagon. We'll activate the effect to draw a card. That's literally the worst draw it could have been, but okay. So then Rising Carp, do we get the Venom Spider at this point? I guess we do still, because we want to get its effect off to get the trap. because we are running the negate trap, so we do want to have that. All right, now we can make Gabanga. We'll just take these two, make Gabanga, activate the trigger effect to search a goblin. What do we want to search here? Okay, we probably want to grab Doug, I think. Then we can activate Mianda, detach Zayamin, summon her, and we got some trigger effects. Alright, so that'll go off. I don't really care about the Zayamin effect. We're going to activate it for fun. We're not going to activate the Gabanga effect because we're going first here in this scenario. Alright, so Doug will activate. We'll get a search here. We already have the continuous spell and the searcher spell, so we're going to go ahead and grab the continuous trap. It's pretty decent, not extremely good, but it is good enough. Alright, now we're looking at a pretty decent hand. So let's go ahead and go Alucard. Ooh, how do we want to do this? I guess it doesn't really matter because we've already used both of their effects. We'll go Alucard, and then we'll make Angel of Mischief on top of that. Now, theoretically, we could go into Utopic 0, F0 off of Gabanga and Alucard, but we're not going to. And then we're going to detach Alucard. That's very important. You have to specifically detach Alucard, otherwise this does not work. It's going to potentially activate Gabanga, but we don't want to activate that right now. But if you're going second, you definitely do, because you're going to be able to scoop up an opponent's monster and attach it to Gabanga as material. Alright, now that we have Alucard in field, we can make Angel of Mischief. And then, theoretically, if you're running second Ghost Trick Shot, you could use Angel of Mischief Search effect again to get the second Ghost Trick Shot to hand and just have, like, discard fodder. But honestly, we don't really need discard fodder in this deck, so we're just going to go straight into F0, or future. We'll activate the effect of Alucard to get the Ghost Trick Shot from Grave back. That'll let us get Alucard back on field if we want to. Not that we really need to. And then we'll make Draco Future right there. So now we have a negate on board. We are now safe from Nibiru, although Nibiru probably came down long before now. So with the rest of our hand, we can do several things. Let's do Grand Arrival of the Goblin Riders. We'll grab Clutter the Noisy, and then we'll activate the effect, or the second part of the effect here, detaching Madam Spider in order to summon Clutter the Noisy. Look at the cards in hand, by the way. We're going to activate the trigger effect of Clutter the Noisy in order to summon back Mianda. We're not going to activate Gabanga. Alright, now we can activate the continuous spell, which makes everyone big number. We'll then activate the spell again to just make these two 6s. And now we can make Goblin's Crazy Beast, which is a pretty good card. What is going on in Grave? Yes. Grand Arrival of the Goblin Beast is trying to get us to add a Goblin card from Grave, which would be none. Cool. Thanks for that. We do just have a spare on field. Unfortunately, we don't really have anything to do with it. If we had drawn slightly differently, maybe we could do something. But you know what we can do is we can set, and set. Some of these guys have quick effects. So if we activate the effect here and we detach Clutter the Noisy and Doug the Assaulter for its effect, Clutter can summon itself to the field by detaching off of F0 or the opponent's Ixies monsters if they have any, and then we can use the continuous trap here to quick Ixies into another monster, potentially going into Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, which can change an effect into a draw spell for everyone, or going into another Gabanga if we need. Unfortunately, we cannot really do quick Ixies into the rank 6 pool, because if we could do that, we could go into Lars, would be really cool. But we do also have the p.u.n.k negate card, which doesn't have to have a p.u.n.k on field to negate. The p.u.n.k on field effect just makes you gain life points, which really doesn't matter. Then we have imperm set as well, and then, you know, negate off of this. This can grab a spell trap off the field, so it can basically negate continuous and field spells, or continuous traps if that happens to be something you need to deal with. But it could also just deal with like Welcome Labyrinth or Big Welcome Labyrinth if you need to get Labyrinth off the field. And, you know, any number of other things. You just don't want to go into Graveyard for whatever reason, or you don't want to activate as a trap card. And then, you know, it also just protects itself forever, which is pretty dang cool. And then Gabanga, you know, can if a material is detached, like off of Crazy Beast, can scoop up an opponent's, or off of F-Zero when we, you know, do a negate, it can scoop up a monster on field and, you know, keep it away from the opponent's field. And we have a discard if we need it, I guess. So yeah, this is the basic theory of the deck as I've built it. I think you could probably see why I'm not playing the tour guide. For one, there's not really a whole lot of room left in the deck, but it's also just I just really like summoning these punks. It makes it easier when you draw Emergency Teleport, of course. Let's see here. What do we want to grab at this point? We drew another Madam Spider, so we might as well go for... but we didn't draw... So we didn't draw Xayah is the thing. So I think we have to go for Xayah here. And then we, you know, Xayah effect to grab Foxy Tune. And then we can... Ooh, this is a tough one, actually. Oh, we already have the... Right. I forgot we already had the field spell in hand. We don't even need to go into Wagon. We'll grab Dangerous Game, or Gabu, sorry. And then get the draw. Imperm. That's theoretically something we can pitch. I would rather keep the clutter in hand, I think. We'll use the Foxy Tune. We're going to pitch Imperm here, I believe. I hate giving up Imperm, but I think it's the right choice here. And then we'll do Sharakusai, Rising Carp. Literally doesn't matter who we go here. Trigger, and again, I don't really care about the Xayah effect. It's just funny. Will we draw Wogan? Great. But it doesn't matter, because it's just a matter of trying to draw cards. We'll just get these two from the deck. Once you've gone through your Punk package, you're pretty much spent on that, so there's not really much reason to worry about which ones necessarily, unless you're in specific matchups where that's going to really come up. Alright, off of this draw... This is actually like a really weird one, because we're kind of missing a lot of them. The idea is hopefully you draw them off of Extreme Session, and there's a high likelihood of doing so, but we just didn't get lucky on that front. Not that we can't, like, still do this. It's just going to be a little bit more awkward. I think we went Doug. Yeah, we definitely want Doug, because we can use Doug here, detach Xayah, activate the effect of Doug, just activate the effect of Xayah so we don't have to see it again. Not that we're out of Xayah, so it's probably not going to happen. Alright, so here we're not going to get the continuous trap. We're going to grab the Rhoda, because we just need more goblins. But we're not going to use it quite yet. Instead, we are going to go for the Ghost Trick line real quick. So we're going to go into Alucard, go into Angel of Mischief, Mischief effect, detach Alucard, grab Shot, I'm hoping one of these ones will accidentally draw a shot, and I'll be able to show you what happens. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory since I already kind of explained how that works. Like it's pretty obvious how that works now. You know, it doesn't take like a visual demonstration necessarily to show you what's going on here. I love the UDF line. We're gonna grab that Ghost Trick Shot back for discard fodder. Unfortunately, we've already Foxy tuned, so we don't really have that to go off of. Would have loved to have Imperm instead of Ghost Trick Shot in hand, but... Alright. Now that we've done that, and there's a Goblin Engrave, we're going to then go Grand Arrival. We're going to search Mianda. We'll activate the effect, detaching Sharakusai, and then we'll summon Mianda. Mianda effect. Don't care about Gabanga effect. Summon Clutter. Clutter effect. Get back Doug. Unfortunately, we're once again in a position where we can't really use that last 3. There are certainly hands where you can. It's usually when you're able to get like another goblin on field. Let's see, combined levels. And then we can make Crazy Beast once again. So you see how consistent this is. Like, other than the one hand that we drew that did absolutely nothing, the fact that Gabanga gets the search and the fact that the Rhoda exists, and it's searchable too, just really makes this exact board of Utopic Draco Future, Crazy Beast, Gabanga very consistent. And I think it's an okay board. I don't think it's... I feel like obviously the Goblin archetype is not done yet. This is just the first wave. There's going to be another wave coming soon, and then probably a third wave later on. But as is, this is not a bad board, especially because of the specific way that it interacts with an opponent, which is a very interesting style of interaction. I mean, any Ixies deck that goes against this deck is dead on arrival. Like, it's just over. Ixies decks cannot contend with this deck unless you draw a hand like this. Actually, no, this hand does do it, I believe. Alright, Zayamin. Well, unless your opponent has 3 Ash Blossom in hand. We'll grab Foxy Tune. Foxy Tune, pitching. We're just gonna ignore the Ash Blossoms. We're just gonna ignore those for now. I don't think the deck necessarily loses to Ash Blossom, but some specific hands, like this one, definitely lose to Ash Blossom. So let's see here. What do we want to get in this situation? We don't have a Punk in hand. So I think we have to go Sharakusai. Oh man, this sucks. This one really sucks. So we're gonna have to go Sharakusai here. Go Rising Carp. I don't care about the Zayamin effect. Rising Carp. I hope our opponent doesn't have 3 Ash. And then go Madam Spider and Wagon. You have to go Wagon first. So we at least get 1 draw off of Extreme Session. Alright, activate Extreme Session. Activate Spider. Get Gabu and get 1 draw instead of 2 draws, but, you know, we'll take what we can get here. Feather Duster. Okay. Not what I was hoping for, but not the worst. Alright, Gabanga. Trigger effect of Gabanga. We have to get Mianda here. Or do we have to get Mianda at all? Yes, we do. We do have to get Mianda. Actually, I don't know that that was true. Anyways, we have to do Doug here because we need to get the continuous spell. A lot of searches in this deck, so this deck does lose pretty hard to Droll. just simply don't get drolled. I don't know what to tell you. All right, and now we have our extra goblin normal summon. We could have gotten something other than Mianda, but this gets Mianda into rotation, and she is really good. And then we can, the question is, what is better? Going into the UDF line and getting a negate, or going into the Crazy Beast line and getting a way to steal stuff? That's a hard one. Wait, it's not hard at all, actually. Never mind. I lied. It's not hard at all. Watch this chat or YouTube comment section. This is gonna blow your mind here. All right, we're going to you have to detach Alucard specifically. At this point, they've already used they must have already used their Ash Blossom. But if they did use Ash Blossom, we died. So we're just gonna assume they don't have an Ash Blossom, I guess. This is a very precarious hand. I feel like there's plenty of other hands that survive Ash Blossom easily, but this is not one of them. All right, and now we can make Utopic Future. Alucard effect, just get hand fodder. You know, if your opponent's on a hand loop deck, well, they're already going second, so they're already losing. But all right, now we could use the effect of Mianda Engrave to detach the last material off of Gabanga, summoning her. Do we use her effect? Oh. Huh? What? Why can't we get Doug? Oh, it's from hand. Sorry. Oh my god. I completely forgot that she's from hand and Noise is from grave. We would have had to use... We just didn't have any way to do it. Damn. All right. Well, never mind then. This is why I usually test longer, so I can get an understanding of the intricacies of a deck. This hand does pretty all right. Like any hand with E-Tally is already like a really good one. If you have a Punk in hand, you can use Jam Extreme Session to summon it onto field. We have Boon in hand finally. Unfortunately, just the only bad thing of this hand is we don't really have any non-engine, although we do have a lot of in-engine answers to things. This hand, wow, this hand goes pretty crazy actually. Two pieces of interruption, like a non-engine interruption that work on your opponent's turn, like even after you've gone, plus a normal summon plus Clutter, who is really nice. We can search out the one that searches spell traps, Doug, and then Boon is pretty decent as well. I think we would have to use that search to get the continuous spell. I mean, it depends. So it really depends on what we would draw. Of course, we could get impermed. It really depends on what we would draw off of Jam Extreme Session. And we would have to grab Foxy-Tune, I think. We can use Foxy-Tune. The thing about Foxy-Tune's discard effect is that Boon and Mianda both benefit from being in the graveyard. So you generally speaking have a lot of cards that you're willing to discard for the effect. This is another one where I think we would have to go Shirakusai instead of going Wagon. Just because we have no extension otherwise from the Punk engine specifically. And then we would have to fuse these off, and it would be the same situation as that other hand we had, where we have to go Wagon and Madam Spider and only get one resolution. This is basically the only reason why we're playing Madam Spider and Gabu game, or Dangerous Gabu, is to get another way, like another monster to resolve Extreme Session for a draw, just because so many of our draws are power cards. And, you know, you get a negate off of it too. It's not bad. I think Dangerous Gabu is like a pretty decent card, honestly. I was playing this in my earlier version of rank, the 3-axis. Whoa, whoa, what a crazy draw. Whoa. See, this is why we run Madam Spider. Holy moly. And you notice how p.u.n.k can now activate in order to detach off of us, right? Okay, so we would grab Doug here. Now we have all 4 goblins in rotation, which is really nice. I think in this position, we have to go Doug effect. Detach to summon, and then activate the trigger effect to get the continuous spell, because we just need that extra normal. And we also need the effect to get Crazy Beast. So we activate that. And then we use the extra normal to summon Mianda. Luckily, all of these trigger on normal and special summon. It's crazy. Alright, we can grab Clutter. And then Clutter effect can grab p.u.n.k. And when you use these as Ixie's material, they don't get banished when they leave the field, because they have left the field through extracurricular means. I don't know the exact reasoning why it works the way it does, but it just does. I don't know what to tell you, folks. It just works that way. I'm not going to finish the combo. You know what it looks like at this point. But yeah, you see how consistent it is. Like, it's incredibly consistent. We've been able to do a mostly full combo in all but one of these examples. Wow, another banger, but no non-engine, unfortunately. I do wish, so I think we're done looking at test hands. I do wish the deck had a bit more non-engine in it. There's not a whole lot of room for it unless we went down to like one-ofs of all the punks. And I don't really like that idea, just because of how you can go through the punks like faster than you have them in deck to use. Like, we didn't really get to show it off here, but I have had test hands where you can use the punks in such a way to extend further and end on a board of like Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, Utopic Draco Future, Crazy Beast, Gabanga, with a continuous spell up, and sometimes the continuous trap too, and that kind of board is only really possible if you have more punks to go into. I could see cutting down on maybe specific ones though, like maybe Wagon. I could see maybe doing that. Foxy Tune is really necessary. Madam Spider, I think, is necessary to just get those draws every once in a while. And just get the draws to the fullest, because even the best case scenario, I think you kind of need Wagon or Madam Spider in order to get the 2 draws, if you're going to get them. And then if in some situations you need it just to get the 1 draw. And just having a punk in deck at all times really just makes emergency teleport so good. What I really like about this deck is the ability to cut down on the Ghost Trick Shot, because again, like I said, we can just use basically all of these effects. I mean, really in hand, Doug is the one you're going to need to do, but because of the way Gabanga works, the fact we go into Gabanga first, we can end up detaching some of these ones that require to be in the grave. p.u.n.k actually does from hand as well. These two, unfortunately, Clutter can only do it during your opponent's turn, but that does mean that on your opponent's turn you can quick Ixies, like I was saying earlier. There's just not really very many good rank 3s to quick Ixies into, which is a little unfortunate. I assume that it's more for like if you're doing the 4s, because you can obviously search any goblin off of this, and that means you can theoretically go into some rank 4 strategies with goblins using the Goblin Riders as support. And there might be some rank 4s that you'd want to quick Ixies into, but I just really like 3-axis, and I think this is more consistent than something like that would be. I've seen a really crazy deck that uses Goblin Zombie, which is a non-once per turn search effect, and just loops it over and over again, and that's really cool. But the amount of zombie cards you have to play in the deck that just do nothing other than do the combo is crazy. It's just crazy. It's completely unfeasible as a deck. Now, I have seen this also been played with Kashtira. I've also seen, obviously, the tour guide version. You're doing rank 3 stuff with tour guide instead of the punks. I think those are all valid ideas. The Kashtira one is basically just like, you know, the Kashtira cards are crazy, but they lost a lot of their stuff. Here's some stuff. And it all kind of works together in some way, which is interesting. But I really like this version. I think this version is really cool. I do wonder if there's like a way to squeeze in some synchros, perhaps. Like, I don't know that we need Lars, and I don't know that we need Levier, and I don't know that we need 3 copies of Gabanga and 2 of Crazy Beast. We could probably cut down on some of those. Even the Alucard, the second Alucard isn't really necessary. You could just go down to 1 if you're feeling, you know... Again, if they destroy the Alucard because they see you setting up the Ghost Trick combo, although really you should destroy the Angel of Mischief because that's the more important piece. It's harder to recover. But if they see the Alucard and try to destroy it, you can just go into another Alucard. And you're still going to use up resources doing so, but, you know, it gives you a chance to go into it. But yeah, there's like some of these cards that are not necessarily necessary. Great Sentence, me. I could see cutting them to like maybe add a synchro package, which could be really interesting. You could try like doing some other of the rank 3 like support cards. I don't think you need them though. Like, you don't need Junk Forward. You don't need the psychic guys that summon if you have a rank 3, if you have a level 3 on field. You just don't need them, I don't think, unless you are like cutting the punks, just go all in on the rank 3s. Honestly, I think the punks are better. So I think that's basically every thought I have had about Goblin over the course of this brewing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know, because I have no idea if this is good or not. So yeah, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey there. Thanks for watching another video. Why don't you give it a like, share it around, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications. You know, the YouTube stuff. You can also follow me on Twitch and Twitter for more content. I got content plenty for ya. You can also support the channel by giving me money. You have a Patreon. If you join the Patreon, you can show up in the credits over here. I would really appreciate that. You can also use my TCG Player affiliate link to get any singles, sealed product, or accessories you want, all to supporting the channel at the same time. That's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and have a wonderful rest of whatever time it is for you. Bye now!